I still remember the exact moment my world cracked, not with an explosion, but with a sentence spoken in a tired, cold voice. It was a Tuesday morning, the kind of morning where nothing feels extraordinary, yet everything changes. I had woken up early, hopeful, because my school had sent a final reminder for the exam fees. I needed to submit them that day, or I wouldn't be allowed to sit for the board papers. It wasn't a luxury, it wasn't a favor. I just wanted a chance at a future. My mother, Semina, was in the kitchen preparing tea. Her movements were sharp, rushed, as if even existing annoyed her. My stepfather, Rashid, sat at the table scrolling through his phone, ignoring everything around him. I approached cautiously. "Ammy, the exam fees today's the last day. They won't." Before I could even finish, she turned, her face twisted with irritation. "Arham, I'm tired of repeating myself," she said. "We don't have money for your countless school expenses. But Ammy, I haven't asked for anything in months. This is important." That's when she snapped. Her voice rose, carrying years of bitterness I never understood. "Don't expect anything from us." Her words hit harder than any slap could. "You're almost an adult now. Learn to handle your own problems." I felt something collapse inside me. I wasn't asking for a car or clothes, just exam fees. Just a little support from the woman who was supposed to protect me. Rashid looked up from his phone, smirking. "She's right," he said. "You're a burden, Arham, always needing something. Why can't you be like other boys and earn?" His words knifed deeper than my mother's. A burden, that's all I was to them. My throat tightened, but before I could speak, a voice from behind startled everyone. Enough. We turned to see my grandfather standing at the doorway. He had come by early to bring vegetables from his small farm. Usually gentle and quiet, today his face was storm. "Dark, what kind of parents speak like this to their child?" he demanded. To my grandson, Semina stepped back, eyes wide. "Abba, you don't understand." "Oh, I understand perfectly," he interrupted. "I've been silent for too long." Then he turned to me with eyes full of something I hadn't felt in years' care. "Arham, Beta, go pack your things." My heart pounded. "W what?" "You're not staying here another minute. You're coming with me." My mother opened her mouth to protest, but for once she had no words. As I followed Grandpa out the door, my hands shaking, I realized the truth. Sometimes salvation comes from the person you least expect. And sometimes betrayal begins with the people you call home. The drive to Grandpa's farmhouse was silent, except for the occasional sigh he tried to hide. I stared out the window, replaying my mother's words in my mind, like a wound that wouldn't stop bleeding. "Don't expect anything from us." I wondered how a mother could cut her own child loose so easily. When we arrived, Grandpa placed his hand gently on my shoulder. "Beta, you are safe here. Come inside." The farmhouse smelled of old wood and peace, something my house had never known. He made me tea, added extra sugar the way I liked, and sat across from me at the dining table. "Arham," he began softly, "you must be wondering why I reacted like that today." I nodded, staring into my cup. He took a deep breath. "Because your mother has hidden a truth from you for years, and I can't watch her destroy your life anymore." My heart skipped. "What truth, Dada?" He leaned back, eyes filled with sorrow. "Your father, my son, didn't leave you with nothing when he died. He loved you more than his own life. He made sure you'd be taken care of." I frowned, confused, but Ammy always said there was no money left, that Abu didn't save anything. Grandpa shook his head slowly. "Your father left a very large inheritance, Arham. Land, savings, and an education trust that was supposed to cover all your expenses until university." The words hit me like a storm. "What, but where is it? Why didn't I?" "Because," he said bitterly, "your mother and Rashid took control of everything when you were a child. They told the lawyers you would live with them, and they used the money for themselves." I felt my vision blur. My hands trembled against the warm mug. So all those years I'd been made to feel like a burden, while they lived off what my father left for me. They used my money. My voice cracked. "Yes, Beta," Grandpa said, placing his hand over mine. "Every comfort they had, every bill paid it came from your father's trust. But now that most of it has been used, they no longer see value in you." A tear slipped down my cheek before I could stop it. Grandpa gently squeezed my hand. Your father trusted me to watch over you, but I failed. I believed your mother would act with love. Today I saw the truth." He stood and walked to the phone on the wall, dialing a number. I listened to the ringing, my chest tight. Semina finally answered. Grandpa's voice turned cold. "From today, Arham is with me, and the things you've hidden, every rupee, every property document, will be opened again. I will not let you ruin him any further." I heard my mother gasp, but Grandpa ended the call before she could reply. He turned back to me, his eyes soft once more. "We will rebuild everything, Arham. I promise you. You are not alone anymore." And for the first time in years, I believed him. Life at Grandpa's farmhouse settled into a rhythm so peaceful it felt unreal at first. I would wake up to the sound of birds and the smell of parathas frying in the kitchen. Grandpa would already be up, watering plants or feeding the animals, humming old songs under his breath. It wasn't just a house, it was a healing place. Slowly, the wounds inside me began to sting less, but healing didn't mean forgetting. Each time I remembered my mother's words or Rashid's mocking face, something deep inside me hardened. Not into bitterness, but into determination. Grandpa noticed it too. One evening, as we sat under the neem tree drinking tea, he said, "Arham Beta, if you want to grow beyond your pain, you must shape your future yourself." "I will," I whispered. "I have to," and so began a new phase of my life. Grandpa contacted lawyers who had handled my father's trust fund. After weeks of digging through old documents and proving fraud, they finally managed to recover what legally belonged to me: land, savings, and the remnants of the educational trust. Semina and Rashid tried to argue, but the law was stronger than their lies. The moment the trust fund was taken from them, their world began to crumble. Meanwhile, Grandpa used the recovered funds to enroll me in a better school nearby. The first day felt strange. I was used to shrinking into corners, avoiding attention. But here, everything felt different. These students didn't know my past. They didn't see a burden. They just saw a new boy. For the first time, I wanted to prove something not to my mother, not to Rashid, but to myself. So I studied hard. Every night, Grandpa would sit beside me, reading the newspaper while I solved math problems or wrote essays. He never pressured me. He simply stayed there, silently reminding me that I wasn't alone anymore. Weeks passed. My grades climbed. Teachers began to notice my dedication. I was no longer the boy who begged for exam fees. I was the boy who topped quizzes, helped classmates, and walked with quiet confidence. And while my life climbed upward, the opposite happened in my old home. Neighbors whispered about how the perfect couple had misused inheritance money. Rashid's small business started suffering as trust in him faded. Bills piled up. My mother called Grandpa several times, but he never answered. "Let the truth speak now," he said. One afternoon, when I came home with my test results, Grandpa hugged me tightly. "You see, Beta," he said, voice thick with pride, "revenge doesn't always come from anger. Sometimes it comes from rising so high that the people who hurt you must tilt their heads back to see you." His words stayed with me. I didn't want to destroy anyone. I just wanted to become someone they never believed I could be. And slowly, I was becoming exactly that. Years passed faster than I expected. The pain that once lived in my chest had softened into a distant memory, like a wound that finally learned how to scar without hurting. I graduated among the top students in the district, won scholarships, and eventually completed my studies in business. Grandpa's pride in me was the fuel that pushed me forward every step of the way. By the time I turned 23, I had a stable job, a small savings account, and a confidence I never imagined possible. I carried my past like a quiet reminder, not a chain, but the world has a strange way of circling back. One warm afternoon, as I was leaving the farmhouse to go to work, Grandpa called out from the veranda, "Arham Beta, someone is here to see you." I frowned, wiping dust from my shirt. When I stepped into the living room, my breath caught in my throat. My mother stood there, her clothes were worn, now her eyes sunken, and behind her was Rashid, looking thinner and defeated. They were nothing like the proud, sharp-tongued couple I once knew. Life had pressed its weight heavily on them. Samina stepped forward, voice trembling. Arham, we need help. I remained still, my heart strangely calm. What kind of help? She swallowed hard. Rashid's business collapsed. We're behind on rent. People don't trust us anymore. They talk about the money, the trust, everything. She looked at the floor. We didn't know things would turn out like this. Rashid was silent, his usual arrogance nowhere to be found. Grandpa leaned on his cane and said nothing, watching me instead. My mother's voice broke. Arham, please, you're doing well now. Can you help us a little? We have nowhere else to go. It was surreal. The same people who once said I shouldn't expect anything from them were now expecting everything from me. I took a slow breath and stepped closer. Amy, I said softly, do you remember the day I asked for exam fees? She nodded weakly. And do you remember what you told me? Her eyes filled with tears. Arham, you said, don't expect anything from us. Silence swallowed the room. I don't hate you, I continued. I don't want revenge, but I also won't forget what you taught me that day. I walked to the kitchen, filled 2 plates with food, and placed them on the table. You can eat, you can rest for a while, but I cannot become the support you denied me. My mother broke down, but I didn't. For the first time, I felt stronger than the pain. Grandpa placed his hand on my shoulder, pride shining in his eyes. As my past sat quietly at my table, I realized something profound. Revenge wasn't destroying them. It was becoming someone they never believed I'd be, kind, successful, and free. And that was the sweetest victory of all.